You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. The other night, dear, as I lay sleeping, I dreamed I held you in my arms. When I awoke, dear, I was mistaken. So I hung my head and cried. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away.
It's on. Okay. All right. I want to welcome everyone. Thank you all so much for being here at the celebration of life for our sweet Jan. And Bliss and Blake asked me to start with a prayer. Dear God, please take the soul and spirit of this dear departed one into the sweetest corner of your mind, the most tender place in your heart, that she and all of us might be comforted. For now she has gone, and we pray for the strength to remember she is not gone far, for she is with you and shall remain so forever. She remains within us, for we are all in you together. The cord that binds us one to the other cannot be cut, surely not by death. For you, dear God, have brought us together, and we remain in eternal connection. There is no power greater than you. Death is not your master nor mine. We surrender to you our grief. We surrender to you our pain. Please take care of Jan, our most loved one who has passed. And please, dear Lord, take care of us. Amen. Bliss.
Testing. Good afternoon. For those of you who don't know me, which is impossible because if you knew my mother, you've heard all about me. My name is Bliss Brown, and Jan was my mother, but also my friend. First and foremost, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for joining us today to honor my mom's life. It's comforting to see so many familiar faces gathered all in one place, a testament to the immense love and care that surrounded my mom. Just as you've heard stories about me and my brother, Blake, my mom also shared stories about you. She loved you all so much, but you already knew that because she never let anyone doubt how deeply she cared. My mom's journey began on March 1st, 1967 in Tulsa, Oklahoma. She was the daughter of Dr. Monroe Ruark and Merrill Honeycutt Jennings, otherwise known as Bundy. I never met my grandfather, but I had a conversation with my cousin Reed recently, who told me all about him and how my mom's essence matched his. Like her father, she loved to whistle when a flock of birds would, she loved to whistle, and when a flock of birds would fly in formation. She was warm, and she had the brightest smile. Her hugs were enveloping, soothing. She was the person you hand the crying baby to. She also took after her mother in that she always kept a secret stash of candy. Growing up in Claremore, my mom's passion for athleticism began at an early age as she excelled in competitive gymnastics and cheerleading. These early pursuits laid the foundation for her adventurous spirit and determination. Her love for gymnastics extended well into adulthood. We would watch the Olympic gymnastics competitions on TV, and she would tell me how she could have made it on the Olympic team, but she chose to become a mom instead. Hoping I would follow in her footsteps, she enrolled me in gymnastics as early as she could, but we quickly learned she didn't pass that particular gene on to me. After graduating from Claremore High School, my mom went on to study at Oklahoma State University and the University of Oklahoma Health Sciences Center, where I've heard she did more socializing than studying. Ultimately, she earned her bachelor's degree in occupational therapy. Her career path led her to various hospitals, rehabilitation centers, and skilled nursing facilities, where we all watched her make a profound impact on countless lives, particularly among her elderly patients, which were her favorite. As my mom would say, God love them. My mom worked many jobs throughout her life. In her younger years, she spent summer days as a lifeguard, and she would often brag about the summer she spent working at the McDonald's on the beach in Waikiki, Hawaii. When I was young, she enjoyed time with children as a preschool teacher. She would record me singing lullabies so she could play them for the children in her class. She was passionate in her role as occupational therapist, but Jan found her greatest joy and fulfillment in her role as a mom. Her obituary says, "The two best days of Jan's life were May 6, 1993 and May 7, 1996, the days on which she gave birth to her daughter, Bliss Elizabeth Brown, and her son, Blake Douglas Brown. But she always told me that the best day of her life was actually on my birthday, because it was the day she became a mom." Not to brag, but me and my brother were undoubtedly the highlights of her life. As a single mom, she didn't have it easy. I recently had a conversation with my mother about her retirement plans. Frustrated, I asked her why she hadn't started a retirement savings account sooner. She explained that all of her resources had been directed towards ensuring Blake and I never went without. She emphasized that we deserved everything and every opportunity that all the other kids had, that she wasn't going to let us have any less just because she was raising us on her own. She gave everything to us, and she was happy to do it. She enthusiastically attended every single hockey game and never missed a show choir performance. Her selflessness and unconditional love were evident in every sacrifice she made to ensure our happiness and well-being. My mom embraced life with a zest for adventure that was truly inspirational. Whether she was kayaking at the lake, hiking up a mountain, cycling around town, or braving the icy depths of charity polar plunges, she approached every new experience with bravery and excitement. Her adventurous spirit reminds us to embrace life's journey with courage and curiosity. No adventure had her more excited than our 2019 mother-daughter trip to the Redwood Forest. Growing up, my mom would often remind me that her biggest bucket list item was to see the massive redwood trees. I finally got to see her live out that dream after gifting her a trip for Mother's Day. At the time, she annoyed the heck out of me. On our hikes, she would walk so slow, pointing to every single tree in that forest. I lost my place. Yeah, she would point at every single tree and she would say, "Wow, look how big that one is. Look how big that one is." Yeah, Mom, they're all the same. And don't even get me started on the drive-through tree. It's a tree so big that you can drive a car through it. I've never seen her more excited for anything in my life. We spent nearly an hour there, driving the car around and around. She drove through that tree at least 30 times. And she had me take a picture of her driving through that tree every single time. Now I look back on that special time with my mom with so much gratitude. I see it as a reminder of how easily my mom found joy in the little things. Jan was full of life and full of love. Love for her children, love for her family, and love for her many friends. She had so many friends. I've always been so jealous of how easily my mom made friends. She loved her adventure group, her church groups, her work groups, her neighborhood bunco groups. She loved babies and Christmas music and romance movies, particularly The Notebook, which she really called the duck movie. She loved Heath bars and the band Chicago and pina coladas. Known for her love of the beach, she spent her final year in Fort Walton Beach, Florida, fulfilling her lifelong dream of living by the ocean. She loved the view out the window of her apartment there because it had palm trees and pretty sunsets, and she loved those things too. In short, Jan loved. My mom is no longer with us, but her legacy will continue to inspire us in the days and years to come. As we say goodbye, I'd like to encourage you to honor her memory by embracing life with the same passion, courage, and strength that she so beautifully exemplified. It's comforting to know that she has now found peace, knowing that she was deeply loved and will be profoundly missed. One moment. Into my mom, you are my sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know how much I love you. Thank you.
Where's she gone? The one we knew. The one we all knew and loved, who knew us all and loved us all. Where now is all that love? Where now her smile? Where now her frown? Her bright, resounding laugh. Ah, all are gone, by time undone. All that was her is past. Down the stream we drifted and saw her on the shore. Around a bend we drifted and saw her there no more. And yet still she stands there. Still stands beside the shore.
Well, if Bliss was tall enough, I know I should be. So, my name is Jackie. Jan and I worked together for 15 years. She in occupational therapy and myself in physical therapy. So, for those who are unfamiliar with the therapy world, in very general terms, OT works with people on things like dressing and hygiene and being able to do all those daily self-care things that might be more difficult after, say, a stroke or a shoulder injury or things like that. And then PT, my side, generally focuses on leg strength and standing and walking. So they say PT teaches you how to walk. OT makes sure you're dressed doing it. So Jan had the most gentle, positive, and patient approach to all of her patients and participants, which bonded them together. I didn't realize how deep her connections were with literally everyone, not just her patients. But I can see now that she kept in touch with so many people and they with her, which is really impressive. There was only one time, and she would laugh at this, so it's okay. But only once I ever heard someone say they didn't like Jan. One time. We had I guess you could say a difficult patient. And I can picture it perfectly, but Jan could always do this impersonation a little better than I could. But this lady said, "I don't like you, Jan. I don't like you at all." And Jan said, "Well, you've already fired everyone else. I'm all you've got." And then they stuck together. She literally one of the best for every single person. She took a genuine interest in people, and they could feel that. She just met people as they were and loved and encouraged them along. So, as you know, we spend a lot of time with the people we work with. I mean, the day to day, 5 days a week, you just naturally get to know each other pretty well. So, you've got pictures on your desk. I bet you can guess who most of those were of. And also, she had her own system with about 30 sticky notes going all at once. We often spent lunch together, chatted about life and family, learned each other's likes and dislikes, and co-treated with patients when we could. Then over time, we went to some of each other's family events like hockey games and musicals and out to dinner and met some of each other's friends and family. So before you know it, the line between coworker and family starts to blur a little bit. We've really had so much fun together. We learned so many things that we had in common all the way back from childhood. We had the same leather jacket, the brown one with a map inside. It's really cool. Let's see. We had the same hairstyles over the decades. We were. My dream car as a teenager was a Fiero. Jan actually drove a Fiero. And we were both mistaken for Mary Lou Retton. Only Jan was actually an elite gymnast. And one time when someone asked her for an autograph, she actually did it. Mary Lou Retton. So somebody out there has a forgery. So might want to check. Let's see. I lost my place too. So then take all of that and picture the two of us working with seniors. So you've got two short girls with brown hair from the same department with desks right next to each other. Names both start with a J. And eventually dress codes. So then we're also dressed exactly alike every day. So more than once, it went something like this. Hey, Mrs. Smith, we ordered that walker for you, and it should be here tomorrow. Mrs. Smith, the puzzled look, says, okay. Then I go back to my desk and find out Jan had just been there. And so these people are thinking, what is wrong with you? We just had this conversation. So one day Bliss came to sing for the residents. And someone told me, your daughter is so beautiful. And she did such a good job. So in my proudest mom voice, I said, thank you so much. I never wanted to embarrass anyone by correcting them. So you call me Jan, I'll still answer. I mean, if you're going to think I'm someone else, I'm really glad it's someone like Jan. A couple of years ago, we had a receptionist that, as hard as she tried, could not tell us apart. At the end of the day, as I was leaving, I'd say, have a good evening. And she would respond with a slightly hesitant, bye, Jackie. I would nod and smile or shake my head no, like she got it wrong. So Then Jan and I both started to notice she was starting to get our names right a lot more often. And even when we were together, Jan liked to cover our names and give her a pop quiz, just in fun. But I also noticed that when she would see us, she would glance down real quick. And so I finally said, "Wait, what are you looking at?" And she showed us this tiny little note she had taped to her desk that said, "Jan, ponytail, Jackie, hair down." So we all got a good laugh out of that one. Jan and I saw each other through the highs and the lows, and more laughs than tears, even though some of those tears were definitely from laughing so hard. So I will end with this. All of our lives are better for having known her. And I know without a doubt that she is safe and at peace with God. And she would want us to go out and love each other and live our best lives. The bond that we share with our loved ones and with Jan comes from our soul. And that can't be broken. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Julie, and I met Jan in our kayak group um, in March of 2021, and I love Jan. We met at Claremore Lake, and we floated around for hours, and I didn't really know anybody, so I started talking to Jan, and it turns out we had so much in common. Like, my last name was Brown. Her last name was Brown. We both went to OSU. She's, I think, a couple of years younger than me. Although, if she were here, I would have said she was older. But that's okay. I'll admit that I'm a little bit older than Jan. And anyway, we had so many things in common. She moved across the river in those apartments, and I lived like right at 15th and Riverside. We walked on the river and hung out at the pool. I met Bliss one day at the pool, and I loved it over there. And we camped, we kayaked, did everything we could together, and with all of our group. And everybody loved Jan in our group. And Jan loved them. Jan didn't have any issues with anybody, no drama. I mean, everyone loved her. She was so calm, and she was so adventurous. She rappelled at Robert's Cave. And I have a video, and I would have played it, but there are too many. We'd have to bleep it a whole bunch, because it is great. And it is just like D, S, F, D, and I sat down at the bottom. I couldn't believe she was doing it, because I didn't even want to climb up there. And I was really impressed with her. She and I both liked Chicago. We went to Chicago in Arkansas, and we had so much fun. In fact, I was going to wear the concert T-shirt. I brought it. It's in the car. If you want, I can go get it. But I thought that'd be cool if I wore our T-shirt. We bought it like from a guy in a truck. I mean, we were like in the parking garage, and he was, I don't know where he got them. We were like, they're hot shirts, We just like threw him the money and ran. Anyway, we had a great time. It was a beautiful night outside, and of course, who doesn't love Chicago? And, does that mean it's time? It's like the Academy Awards. The music starts playing. Anyway, Jane was a good cook too. She, at our campouts, she would cook a lot, and which I love, because I don't cook, and anytime anybody wants to cook, I'm gonna let them. But one time she volunteered. We were going to float on the river, and she volunteered to bring sandwiches. And so I was like, I had low expectations. I thought, okay, the girl's going to bring bologna and maybe some bread, and that's it. Girl, she pulled ham, cheese, Wonder Bread that was so fresh and so dry, because normally your sandwiches get wet on the river, right? She had lettuce cut that was perfect in perfect sizes. She pulled out this tomato. It was like the prettiest tomato I've ever seen, perfectly sliced. And I said, "Who sliced that?" She goes, "I did." And I said, "When?" She goes, "This morning." And we had left really early. And you got, I've only known Jan for a short time, but the mornings I spent with her, she liked to sleep in. So I was really impressed that she got up to slice those tomatoes. Anyway, I told her, I said, "This is the best sandwich I've ever had." I think I told Joe that too, that Jan made the best sandwich I've ever had. And she also made cookies that day. But I love Jan. She talked about her family. Oh my gosh, I know so much about you guys. More than you probably want me to know. And the animals and her, her sisters and her brothers and her sister-in-law she talked about, and her mother that she adored, and her brother that had passed. And we had a lot of quiet time, fireside chats and floating. I mean, it's not like we can sit there and watch TV or anything. So we just, talk about our lives and everything. But I adored her. Our friend Jan, okay, the night she left for Florida, first of all, I couldn't believe she was moving to Florida. I knew she wanted to really bad, but for her to like get up, pack her car, and I packed her car, okay, it was bad. I mean, she didn't even have room for her luggage. I mean, and we had to like shift everything around, and you remember, and we had to like shift everything just so she could sit in the driver's side. It was like the Clampetts going to Florida. And when that morning she stayed at my house, and that morning when she left, I saw her and she had her bike rack and her bike and all her. Anyway, she posted on Facebook that she was at the Mississippi River, and I was like, thank God. I mean, I didn't think she was going to make it. Anyway, she gave me this rock, which is shaped like a heart, and she actually picked this rock out on the river, and gave it to her friend Angela. And she said, "Hey, will you give this to Angela?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." Well, I didn't. And Angela, well, it's really sad. Angela got really sick, and she passed away pretty quick, a lot quicker than I could get the heart to her. So I told Jan about it. I said, "I never got that heart to her." And Jan said I could keep it. So this is on my mantle now. I'm going to share it because these girls that I kayaked with all summer, they're both gone. And it's me. And I'm going to cherish this just like I cherished Jan. I found this little, I stalked her Facebook this morning. And she has a lot of like motivational memes and stuff. And so I found one that she wrote in October 21. And her comment was, "I desperately need the ocean, ... So the little, whatever it's called. I don't know what it's called. It says, "Ocean air, salty hair, not a care, take me there." And I loved her. I'm sad that we only were friends for a short time, but I got this rock. So thanks for letting me share.
Okay, I'm going to pretty much read mine, so hopefully as relaxed. But my name is Christie, and I met Jan also in the kayak group. But anyway, her smile was like the sun shining light on us. Her hugs were like a warm blanket wrapped around us. Her laugh brought joy to all who heard it. I met Jan in the fall of 2020 in our kayak group. She was so sweet and encouraging to me. Jan loved many things and many people, and she had great passion for a few things. I do know from my short time knowing her that her greatest love and passion were her kids, Bliss and Blake, her mom and dad, her siblings, and her love of being near and in the water. She did mention her brother Dave several times. So proud of the book and the calendar. We did have a couple weekends out at Robbers Cave. One of those was in December, and so we had a Dirty Santa time, and I just happened to get the calendar. So I had that. I met Bliss when she joined her mom and us out at Spaniard Creek one time, and she got to use Joe's tandem. They used Joe's tandem kayak, and it was fun seeing them out together on the water, mother and daughter, and getting to meet Bliss. As I mentioned, Jan loved the water, and whether it was on a lake or the Illinois River where we all love to go, or on the beach at the ocean, she accomplished her dream, as we know, of moving out to the beach in Florida almost a year ago. And I happened to get to buy her pink kayak, her pink lady, so I have that now. And I'll think of Jan every time I use it. I also got her hammock. She, as you know, she didn't take much with her. She did take the bike, but she didn't take the kayak or her hammock or anything. And so she did give me the hammock and a couple other things. So anyway, so she did accomplish that dream. And I know, as you all do, she was at the beach. She could see it from her apartment. And I remember when she did move in, she did a little video, and I can't remember if she just sent it on text or if it was on her Facebook, but she was showing her place and how she had everything arranged. And I had given her a goodbye card, and I had put a photo in there of a group of us, and she had it framed and on her desk or whatever. And she mentioned, and here's our picture of us. Anyway, she loved to have fun and joke around and enjoying our group time while kayaking at the campfires while we camped. She almost always slept in her hammock, and which I said she did give that to me. But I have not tried to sleep in a hammock. I always slept in a tent, but I am going to do that this summer. I don't know if I'll sleep or not, or do it again, but I'm going to try. As y'all know, Jan was willing to try new things and activities that were maybe scary or intimidating. So we all did have the couple weekends out at Robbers Cave where some of us got to rappel, and Jan did it twice, even though she swore she wouldn't do it again. We couldn't believe she did it again, but she did it, and she conquered her fear, and we all cheered her on, and we were so proud of her. Occasionally, while in our kayaks, especially that pink lady kayak that was a sit on top, she would fall in, but she would climb right back on board. And one time, when we were almost ashore, this was at a lake, I took a selfie, and back behind me was Jan still on her kayak, and Joe was out in the water, and he was tipping her over on purpose. We were close to the shore, she could stand, but anyway, she loved Joe, and he enjoyed joking and laughing with her, and it was all in fun. So we all loved Jan and having our weekends together. And she's going to be greatly missed, even though, we didn't get to see her this last year because she was in Florida. But I texted her. We'd check in with each other from time to time and, hey, how you doing? What's going on? And she moved out there not knowing anybody. I would like to say I could do that. I'd like to do that, maybe. But I think maybe, I don't know. I'm probably too chicken to do that. But, man, she did it, and I was proud of her for doing that. Anyway, but our memories and time spent with her will always be in our hearts, and she's going to be greatly missed. We never know when our last time
to see our friends or family will be. So I know I need to remind myself to give them that hug and to let them know that I love them and to do it often.
You know our love was meant to be the kind of love to last forever. And I want you here with me from tonight until the end of time. You should know everywhere I go, always on my mind, in my heart, in my soul. Baby, you're the meaning in my life. You're the inspiration. You bring feeling to my life. You're the inspiration. Wanna have you near me? I wanna have you hear me say it. No one needs you more than I need you. And I know, yes I know that it's plain to see. So in love when we're together. Now I know that I need you here with me. From tonight until the end of time. You should know me everywhere I go. Always on my mind. You're in my heart, in my soul. You're the meaning in my life. You're the inspiration. You bring feeling to my life. You're the inspiration. Wanna have you near me? I wanna have you near me. Say yeah. No one needs you more than I. No one needs you more than wanna have you near me? I wanna have you near me. Say yeah. No one needs you more than I need you. You're the meaning of my life. You're the inspiration. You bring feeling to my life. You're the inspiration. When you love somebody till the end of time. When you love somebody, always on my mind. I need you more than that. When you love somebody till the end of time. When you love somebody, always on my mind. I need you more than that. When you love somebody till the end of time.
I'm 5 years old, it's getting cold. I've got my big coat on. I hear your laugh in the woke up smiling at you. I run and run past the pumpkin patch and the tractor rides. Look now, the sky is gold. I hug your legs and fall asleep on the way home. I don't know why all the trees change in the fall, but I know you're not scared of anything at all. Don't know if Snow White's house is near or far away, but I know I had the best day with you today. I'm 13 now and don't know how my friends could be so mean. I come home crying and you hold me tight and grab the keys, and we drive and drive until we found a town far enough away. And we talk and window shop till I've forgotten all their names. I don't know who I'm gonna talk to now at school, but I know I'm laughing on the car ride home with you. Don't know how long it's gonna take to feel okay, but I know I had the best day with you today. I have an excellent father. His strength is making me stronger. God smiles on my little brother. Inside and out, he's better than I am. I grew up in a pretty house and I had slaves to run, and I had the best days with you. There is a video I found from back when I was 3. You set up a pink set in the kitchen and you're talking to me. It's the age of princesses and pirate ships and the 7 dwarfs. Daddy's smart and you're the prettiest lady in the whole wide world. Now I know why all the trees change in the fall. I know you were on my side even when I was wrong, and I love you for giving me your eyes, for staying back and watching me shine. And I didn't know if you knew, so I'm taking this chance to say that I had the best day with you today.
Hope when you take that jump, you don't feel the fall. Hope when the water rises, you build a wall. Hope when the crowd screams out, you're screaming your name. Hope if everybody runs, you choose to stay. Hope that you fall in love and it hurts so bad. Hey, the only way you can know, you give it all you had. And I hope that you don't suffer, but take the pain. Hope when the moment comes, you'll say, I did it all. I did it all. I only places, the things that I did. Yeah, with every broken bone, I swear I lived. Hope that you spend your days, but they all add up. And when that sun goes down, hope you raise your cup. Oh, I wish that I could witness all your joy and all your pain. But until my moment comes, I'll say I did it all. I did it all. Every second this world could give, I saw so many places, the things that I did. Yeah, with every broken bone, I swear I lived. I swear I lived. Every broken bone, I swear I did it all. I did it all. Every second that this world could give, I saw so many places, the things that I did. With every broken bone, I swear I lived. I swear I lived.
Hi. Speaking after this is rough. I forgive you. But grief is gratitude, and I'm okay if you see me cry because I'm grateful. I'm Reed. Jan called me Ash. I'm her favorite niece. Just kidding. I've got like 97 cousins here, so it's just a big family joke. But I was her first, and she was my role model and my favorite hug. And it hurts. She made me feel really special. But I think after listening to everyone, she made everyone feel really special because she was really special. And I think the most special people to her were her children, and she would be so proud of them today. I know I am. I'm going to read a poem that they picked out. Remember me. To the living, I am gone. To the sorrowful, I will never return. To the angry, I was cheated. But to the happy, I am at peace. And to the faithful, I've never left. I cannot be seen, but I can be heard. So as you stand upon a shore, gazing at a beautiful sea, remember me. As you look in awe at a mighty forest in its grand majesty, remember me. As you look upon a flower and admire its simplicity, remember me and stop to smell it. Remember me in your heart, your thoughts, your memories of the times we loved, the times we cried, the times we fought, the times we laughed. For if you always think of me, I will never be gone. Bliss and Blake wanted me to invite the family to please take home some of the beautiful flowers. They don't know how to get it back to their homes far away. I encourage them to please keep 2 of the plants. My mother will keep them alive for you until we can get them to your house. Don't argue me with that. We would like to invite you to a little beach party out in the other room. Please enjoy a pina colada and take a moment with Jan's beach chair, where she definitely took her time and enjoyed life. Thanks for coming.